Okay, we've got this Hall effect sensor pulse motor here, and I wanted to go over a little bit about how this thing was built. First, let's start with the circuit here. The Hall effect sensor is kind of concave. It has a larger rectangle back, and the front face of it is a smaller rectangle. So if you want to know if you're looking at the face of your Hall effect sensor, it's the smaller rectangle, and usually it has writing on it. Real simple to wire it up. Connect a wire to the left leg, run it to positive, a wire to the middle leg, run it to negative, and out the right leg you run it through your coil back to positive. And most people put an LED in over here. If you just have a diode, the negative side here is where the bar is on the symbol. So that's the negative side, positive side. And for an LED, your negative leg is going to be the shorter leg on your LED. Let me back up and change some more pictures here. Okay, this is what it looked like when I was putting it together. Okay, I'm running off 9 volts, and when I was testing it out I used this tiny little switch down here. I changed it later when I built it to use a more reliable switch. Here you can see the coil. It's wound on a bobbin. Bobbins you can buy at either Walmart. Well, actually I got this one at Walmart, and this brand here also at Walmart, the Brother brand. And it's wound with a 32 gauge wire. Now for the core, I took a hot glue stick, alright, and whittled it down just a teeny bit with a sharp knife, so that the solid glue stick would go in the hole in the bobbin. Okay, now I've got a solid glue stick in the hole, and just snip it off to where it fits in pretty good. I took a very small nail, very thin small nail, and drove it right down into the glue stick, and took some tin snips and cut the nail at the top. Still sticking up a little bit at the top, but doesn't hurt anything. It's flat on the other side, where I'm going to glue it there flat to the surface. And usually I put some tape across to hold it in place. Once it's tested out good, I'll go back and lift it up a little bit, put some glue under the lip, and go back, push the tape down tight, and glue the tape down. The LED, the Hall effect sensor is hiding underneath all this tape. You can't see it from this side. Let me change some slides here and see what we see. Okay, still over here, the Hall effect sensor is not very visible. Let me keep going here. Okay, this is from the top side looking through the plastic. Here you can see the Hall effect sensor. Okay, the legs are bent off there. Straight one in the middle, bent off. Okay, usually what I'll do is I'll position it, lightly tape the coil, put the fidget spinner up top or whatever's going to be spinning, make sure I got a fairly good alignment, and then I'll go back and solidly tape them. And I don't think the Hall effect sensors react too good to super glue, so I try not to glue the black part of the sensor itself. I try to glue the legs out here a ways, and then tape over them and glue the tape. Same thing with the coil. It'll handle the super glue anywhere you put it, so I try to get some underneath to tape the coil right onto the face there. Okay, let's keep going here, see if I got any more pictures. This is the main body here, and I was going to put a different on-off switch and made a big hole for the switch I was going to use. Here's another one showing the sensor here, the coil here. And to make the hole for the new switch I was going to use, I took a copper pipe and heated it up with a Bunsen burner thing, got it real hot, and just burned right in, made a perfect hole the size I needed. And for the LED sticking through over here, I used this drill bit, heated it up, and burned through. Usually burning through the plastic works better than trying to actually drill through it. It usually cracks the plastic if you try to drill through it. On the fidget spinner itself, this is looking at the bottom side of it. You can see I glued magnets on the 3 arms, and this is the little finger hole here that you would normally use when you use a fidget spinner its regular way. And with the magnets there, you're not going to have quite enough clearance. So I took 2 pennies and super glued them onto that finger hole there. Okay, and then when it's all put together, this penny faces down onto the case that's holding everything. Here's another shot of the fidget spinner and the 2 pennies. This is what the fidget spinner looks like turned over. The pennies raising it up so the magnets will clear. And that's just a picture of the hot glue stick that was used. Okay, back to the circuit there. Okay, when you make a fidget spinner spin in one of these circuits, you want to make all the magnets on the arms face the same way. You take a reference magnet. Phew, that was nice. Hang on a second. Okay, and let's get it where it repels. Okay, that one's repelling, that's repelling, that's repelling. So from your reference magnet, you know you have all the magnets pointing the same way. That's important. Doesn't matter if they're all south or all north, as long as they point the same way. So what you do, you put your circuit together, as shown in the diagram here, and hook up an LED, like it's shown there, and use long wires so you can move stuff around and get to it. You can shorten the wires up later when you go to assemble it. Okay? Don't worry about the coil pushing the fidget spinner at this moment. First thing you want to do is take your magnet in the direction it's going to be facing the coil. Alright? Take that part of the magnet over the Hall effect sensor on the face side and see, and take it away and see if the light lights up. Okay, if it doesn't, flip the sensor where you're not using the face, you're using the back side of it, and try it with the magnet. Then the light at one way or the other should light up. And now we'll tell you which side of the Hall effect sensor to use facing the magnet. You know, people are supposed to use the what's called the front of it, the face, and supposed to use a south pole. But if you happen to have north poles, because you didn't have some way to tell which was north and south, you can just use the back side of the sensor. Wire it with the face shown this way first, but once it's wired, there's no problem with flipping it over and using the back side if you have a north on your fidget spinner or whatever's spinning that's going to be coming in contact with the Hall effect sensor. Once you found out it's working because you've seen the light blink, you say, okay, now I know which face to use when I put the magnet on. The coil, however, could be attracting or repelling the magnet over here when the sensor is activated. So you need to run a test. You need to lightly tape them like shown in the pictures before. Go over it, watch the light blink. If there's no repelling going on, take your coil and flip it over the other way. Or just reverse the wires on the coil. okay, so that the windings are going counterclockwise instead of clockwise, or vice versa. So that way you've seen that the sensor is activated by one side or the other, okay, because you see the LED lighting up, and then you see you can get a repulsion from one side of the coil or the other. You get them all in the right direction and you're ready to go. And if you want to put a switch in here, like I do, I just take, coming off the positive lead usually, I'll just break the wire and put a switch in there. That's all you need to do for your switch. So once it's all put together, that's what it looks like. And that's my mess for today.